My name is Randy Bushey, and I've lived in North Bay most of my life. I work at Knox Insurance. I'm the general manager there. One of the reasons maybe that my grandfather was so influential in my life is that we had such regular contact. Different than a lot of my friends, I got to see my grandparents frequently. They lived for several years in Sudbury, but they were in North Bay almost every weekend, where I was growing up, and then they moved to North Bay. And so even when I was first married and bought my first house, we were just around the corner from my grandfather. And I can't fix anything, and we bought this old house that always needed something fixed. And my first call was always to him, and he'd come over with his tools and his repair kit, and he'd start tearing stuff apart and fixing it. So he was very close to me as a child. He was very close to me through my adult years. And when he passed away about 15 years ago, it was a profound loss for all of us. He'd lived a very long life, well into his 90s. His death was not expected, but there was still a sense of powerful loss just because of the man that he was. And now that I'm a grandfather, I've got 2 little grandchildren. I remember the relationship I had with my grandfather and hope that in some way I can be that person in their lives. My grandchildren live a few hundred miles away. My grandfather didn't have the ability to have cheap long-distance telephone calls, or he certainly wouldn't have understood Skype. And those are things that are part of our relationship now. But at a more basic level, just to be able to talk about and deal with things that are important to kids. I think often adults miss out on that we have difficulty connecting with kids because we don't always take the time to figure out what really makes them tick, what really is important to them, what really is high on their priority list. And I think my grandfather did that. And so it wasn't just me or my siblings that appreciated him, but even my friends appreciated him because he was a unique man who had the ability to connect with children. I'm Randy Bushey, and I'm proud to support Hand TheFamilyHelpNetwork.ca.